Oh, my name is Chris Johnson, and I know a war hero. Like a fucking real life, balls to the fucking wall, I killed people with my bare hands war hero. Guy's a fucking badass. I worked with him at the radio station. He's a great dude. We got along really well. I thought he was a douchebag at first, because I think everybody's a douchebag at first. I fucking hate people. I hate meeting people. Like, if I'm, like, take the new job, for example. When I meet people at the new job, it's like I gotta work with these people, so it's a little bit different. But I didn't really have to work with him at the radio station. I just kind of met him. So if I have to just, like, meet you, or it's a situation where, like, hey, this is, you know, the new guy or some new dude that you're not going to see again, I don't want to meet that guy. Like, fuck you. So that's how it kind of was with him. But I fucking love him now, man. We get along really well. Name's Top Hat. I used to fuck with this guy all the time, though. All the fucking time. In recent podcasts, I've told stories about dick pics and how I'm getting sent dick pics from my buddy Straws. And now that I'm thinking about it, I probably deserve it because I send Top Hat dick pics all the time. Now, not my dick. I go on like porn sites and I find pictures of like guys blowing dudes and I just send them to him. When I used to work with him, he would be on the air and I would be between the glass and I would fucking send a cock to him when he was like on the air and he'd like look down as he's like taking a phone call and he'd see it and he'd like fucking throw his phone down, like throw his hands in the air, like, what the fuck? You know, he'd mouth it. What are you doing, asshole? People would say to me like, dude, that guy fucking killed people overseas and you're sending him pictures of cocks. Another thing I did to Top Hat was I fucked with his Wikipedia page. Top Hat has a Wikipedia page. I made some additions. Now, I didn't fuck with the army shit. I didn't fuck with that shit. I'm not a goddamn monster. But if you scroll down, there was some other bullshit on his page. And there was shit there like, you know, he wrote a book, he ran for fucking Congress, you know, then he joined the radio station staff as a fill-in host, you know, shit like that. He's currently working on another book, all that bullshit. So I added to that. I fucked with that. I put like, he's a fan of musicals, and he's considering leaving radio for a career in musical theater. And that's not that far off. Motherfucker loves musical theater. Guy was in Singing in the Rain in high school, for fuck's sake. A fucking caller outed him on that shit. So I wrote that. I wrote that he's writing musical plays, you know. I wrote that he has an extensive collection of top hats and canes. I wrote that he loves to build sandcastles in his spare time. You know, just bullshit like that. I updated it. I left it there for a while. Then after like a month, and I was like, hey, buddy, did you see this shit? And I showed him, and then he read it, and he was like, what the fuck? Then I got a good laugh. But what he didn't do was delete it. Like, if you update a Wikipedia page, that shit stays there unless somebody deletes it. Well, nobody fucking deleted it. That shit just stayed there. So I'm working one day at the radio station. All of a sudden, the phone rings. The hotline rings. We had, like, a secret line that, like, politicians and, like, reporters and shit could call on. Well, that fucking line rings. I pick it up. It's Top Hat. He's like, dude, I'm in fucking California right now. The fuck are you doing calling me now? Like, when he called me, it's like 10 o'clock our time. So he's like up at fucking 7 in the morning in like Los Angeles, like just to fucking call me. Like, what are you doing, buddy? He was like getting interviewed. He's a big time guy. He was like the guest star on this podcast. And he's like, I'm on some fucking stupid podcast, and it's these two fucking stoners. I don't know. This sucks. I don't want to fucking be here. I don't want to be doing this. It's terrible. And they're interviewing me, and they're asking me all this bullshit about the fucking, you know, about the war and about, you know, my congressional bid. And then, you know what they fucking said next? I'm like, what, buddy? What'd they say next? They're like, yeah, you know, we understand that you're an avid fan of building sandcastles. Why don't you tell us about that? And then he realized, like, son of a bitch. These cocks didn't even do show prep. They fucking went on Wikipedia and read the shit that I fucking put on the page. They took it as fucking gospel. They prepared their interview questions around that. And now, all the way across the fucking country, fucking 3,000 miles away, this poor son of a bitch is being interviewed and asked questions about shit that I made up on his Wikipedia page. Do you see how amazing that is? That might be the best thing I've ever done in my life. So I just laughed my balls off. And he's like, yeah, that's great. That's fucking hilarious. That's fucking hilarious. I'm sitting there. They're like, why don't you tell us about the sandcastle collection? And I'm like, fucking Johnson. God damn it. And I'm like, nah, I don't know. I don't know who put that there. It's, I don't build sandcastles. And they're like, oh, okay. Well, that must have been a mistake. Well, we also understand that you're looking at a career in musical theater. You know, that you're writing some plays. Why don't you tell us about that? He's thinking to himself, son of a bitch. He's like, you are fucking 3,000 miles away, and you're somehow still fucking with me? I'm like, but what do you want me to do about it, buddy? You could have deleted that shit. What'd you tell him? He's like, I didn't fucking tell him anything. I told him that my fucking page got hacked. I was like, well, what did they say after you told him the page got hacked? He's like, well, they said, all right, we'll just throw that out. Let's continue along with the interview. Why don't you tell us about that extensive collection of top hats and canes? He throws his fucking hands in the air. He's like, are you fucking serious right now? I don't know who put it up there. I don't know anything about that shit. I don't have a fucking top hat and cane collection. I don't fucking build sandcastles. You know, I don't want to go into musical theater. It's all bullshit. I can't tell you how proud of myself I was for that. I didn't even realize I did it. Man, that was amazing. Top Hat, I love you, buddy. I'm going to send you another cock soon, okay? We'll talk soon. I update the podcast on Sunday and Wednesdays. You can find it on Podbean. Download the Podbean app. Go to the Podbean site. Also on Apple Podcast or iTunes, whatever the fuck they feel like calling it. Google Play 2. And you can follow my ass on Twitter at Johnson Hates You.